I am disappointed that this hearing was about contracting programs, and you choose 5 minutes after your testimony to start talking about contracting programs. We needed to know what are the problems and what you intend to do, or what are you doing to fix some of the problems that those programs are facing today. But maybe you can help me through the questions that I need to ask. The study done by RAND for the Women's Procurement Program identified 5 industries as underrepresented when using contract dollars as an indicator. Only 0.005% of women-owned firms will benefit using this metric. If number of contracts were used as the metric, 87% of industries will qualify, making the majority of businesses eligible. So I would like to ask you, what are you intend to use? Are you going to use contracting dollars or number of contracts?
Chairman Velázquez, in all due respect, today was to actually discuss not only the acknowledgement that you've just expressed of the data that was made available during the RAND study, or the results of the RAND study, but at this point I am not in the position to actually take one position or the other. I mean, I'm not here to indicate which role we're going to take. We have been, though, in the process since April, developed the reg the SBA had submitted, and we've taken that particular analysis along with the RAND study data that you're referring to, and have submitted all of that information in the position of SBA to the 24 agencies that are required and allowed opportunity to comment on it.
Are you aware that the administrator came before this committee this past February, and that I asked when the program will be up and running, and what his answer was to my question?
Yes, Chairman Velázquez, I believe you also asked the same question during my hearing as to when were we going to make progress?
No, not progress.
No.
Up and running.
Up and running.
Mm-hmm.
However, at the time that I indicated that I expected quick recovery results on the RAND study, I soon learned that it was a very onerous process where it requires not only receiving the results of the RAND report, but also sharing that information with the particular agencies for their commentary, because we cannot, as I'm sure you're cognizant and I'm learning, cannot work in a vacuum. We have to obligate the other agencies to have participation in it, and that's what is gaining traction as we speak.
But the administrator came to this committee and informed us that he will have this program up and running by the end of the summer.
What we learned in the process, Chairwoman Velázquez, once again, is that our expectations were that. What we are very pleased to report to you, not that we have a result of the study, but that the results, not only that we have the results of the study, but it's now in play. It's gained traction. It's out in the agencies
I
for
would
review.
strongly suggest and advise
Yes.
that when you come before this committee, you better tell us, we don't know, but don't make promises that you cannot keep. This is 7 years after this legislation was enacted. And you are doing everything between SBA and OMB to stall the process. This is the message that you're sending to women business owners in our country. We are not interested in doing business with you. That's the message that the administrator and the SBA is sending to the women's business owners in this nation.
Sure.
My next question. When the administrator in the past, when we have raised the issue of increasing the net worth for the 8A program, we have run into criticism. People have generally said that they are concerned about creating rich minorities. However, if Bill Gates or Warren Buffett owned a $1 million home in Park City, Utah, they will qualify for the Hub Zone program. Why is this right?
We have received an IG assessment of the Hub Zone and the 8A. I'm going to say Hub Zone 8A because they interact programs. And I assure you that we're just as knowledgeable of the gaps and the deficiencies and vulnerabilities of each program, Chairwoman Velázquez. And between the administrator and the team that we've assembled and the resources that we've allocated to look at this completely and further, we're going to clamp down on three components: the oversight, the broad definition of the program, and also a different focus as far as accountability, because we have data.
Okay, let me ask you a specific
Yes.
question. Do you think that the Hub Zone program has flaws?
Yes, we've recognized the flaws. We've actually taken the position where we are going to implement, if not 90%, approximately 100%.
When did you recognize that the Hub Zone program has flaws?
Well, I've been in the agency about 5 months or so, and 8 months really engaged in the programs. Actually, 8 months in the agency and 5 months really engaged in the programs. But the administrator and I have been very focused in all of the program, not only the process reengineering, the integrities of the program, and I will.
Do you intend to propose anything to rectify the flaws of the Hub Zone program?
Yes. Once again, I'll review that, or reiterate, emphasize that the recommendations that the IG team has positioned for us to recognize and acknowledge, and that we have already positioned to put in place.
Okay, do you have right now any internal controls to deal with the flaws of the Hub Zone program so that there is not fraud and abuse?
We are cognizant and fully aware of those vulnerabilities,
Okay.
and we are addressing them.
How?
We have automation, we have resources tracking that, we are re-engineering the process. We've actually allocated the $500,000 to contract.
Are those, you will qualify that as internal controls?
The development of internal controls, much more sophisticated, much more focused, and much more simplified so that we can execute them immediately, Chairwoman Velázquez.
As the ranking member said here,
Yes.
we are about having programs in place that are cost-effective. And how are you preventing abuse and fraud from being committed in terms of the Hub Zone program right after there is an investigation and a report by the Inspector General?
I'll reiterate, working with the IG closely, who has closely assessed the program, made recommendations, and immediate execution of those recommendations.
So let me ask you, of the 14,200 companies that are in the program, how many examinations are conducted every year?
We have a goal of 5%.
No, I'm not asking a goal. I'm asking you, how many examinations are you conducting every year?
I can't give you the exact number, but I will tell you that
So I guess that the next time I need to bring the administrator here so that he could be able to answer questions.
I can get back to the staff to make sure that I have that exact number. But the reviews are being conducted, Chairwoman Velázquez, also recognizing that as we conduct those reviews, the decertification of Hub Zone is at a high number.
Let me answer the question to you
Yes.
so that maybe you realize that, yes, there is not only flaws in the program and how it's being used and abused, but also that it requires immediate action. There are now more than 14,200 companies in the program, with 500 program examinations each year, and 2,000 companies approved. How can the agency keep up with that?